C. Vassal.
SAU, East Ronald
J.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Today's Tuesday, September 11th. I'm Gabriel Barth.
And I'm Reed Peterson. Today marks the day of one of the most tragic events that has gone down in U.S. history. Most of us were very young or not even born when the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened. Almost 3,000 people died when the attacks were carried out, but many more were injured and affected.
19 terrorists hijacked 4 planes and carried out suicide missions against multiple locations in the United States. 2 of the planes struck into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City. A third plane hit the Pentagon just outside Washington, D.C., and the last plane was taken back over by the passengers and crashed in a field in Pennsylvania.
September 11th was the deadliest day in the history for New York City firefighters with a death of 343. Today marks the 17th anniversary of 9/11, and we will continue to remember those who lost their lives and the ones affected by this event.
Today, we also remember a story closer to home. One of the victims of 9/11 was a Las Vegas language teacher at Palo Verde High School, Barbara Edwards. Edwards was the passenger on the American Airlines Flight 77, the plane that was hijacked and crashed into the Pentagon. Students and teachers of Palo Verde continue to remember their beloved teacher that they lost in the September 11th tragedy. The high school's ROTC Air Force holds an annual flag ceremony in dedication to Barbara Edwards and maintains a dedicated memorial throughout the year in her honor.
New York after 9/11 began to pick up the pieces to help rebuild their city. There used to be a subway station that carried passengers to the World Trade Center. As the World Trade Center collapsed, it took part of the subway with it, but now it has reopened. Now renamed Cortlandt Street Subway, it's a huge step in New York's infrastructure.
According to Reuters, scientists have constructed a new tool that they are hoping is capable of identifying people that went missing after the September 11th attacks. Based off bone fragments and the DNA inside, they will link the found DNA to one of the missing victims of 9/11. Families are still grieving. A stepfather of one of the unidentified victims, Russell Mercer, explains the feeling someone has when a family member never comes home, saying, "If you have remains, you know that he came back to your family. You know a place you can stand and talk to him, but I'm talking to the wind. That's who I'm talking to. There's nothing there." Hopefully, with this new tool, we can bring the missing piece back to those grieving families.
When we come back from the break, Tristan is here with Twitter Trends. We'll be right back. FST News, your eyes and ears around the hill.
Hi, I'd like to report bullying to Safe Voice. Safe Voice is a website and an app used to report bullying, harassment, self-harm, suicidal thoughts, violence, and threats. It's time for us to get real on this. When you hear something, when you see something, you have to say something.
Welcome back. All around Twitter yesterday, people were bringing awareness to a more sensitive subject, one that some people may find uncomfortable to talk about: suicide. It takes the lives of over 1 million people each year and is the second biggest killer of people 15 to 29 years old. And although these statistics may be disheartening, 80 to 90% of people that seek treatment for depression are successful in reaching a much better state of mind. Yesterday was World Suicide Prevention Day, and Twitter made sure that those struggling knew they had outlets to go for help, with many people reaching out on Twitter to those struggling with depression or suicidal thoughts. And along with the theme of social media, thousands of people posted videos and pictures bringing awareness to how social media can affect those with depression and how you should watch what you post. If you are posting something concerning suicide or depression, it should only ever contain an uplifting message to those struggling. Certain messages, specifically those that joke about suicide, can be harmful and sometimes lethal to those suffering from depression. If you or someone you know are struggling with depression, you're not alone. You can get help from any of the counselors here at Foothill, or you can also call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline or Safe Voice. Well, for now, that's all the Twitter trends I have for you this week. Gabriel Reed, back to you.
As we leave you today, here's a live look at the 9/11 events that are happening in New York City.
We'll see you right here tomorrow on FST News.
Crossley Richard Williams, Jr.
David J. Williams.
David Lucien Williams.
Debbie L. Williams.
Dwayne Williams.
Kevin Michael Williams.
Louis Anthony Williams.
Louis Calvin Williams III.
John P. Williamson.
Donna